Hey, what's up, moviegoers, and welcome to yet again another Wednesday Movie Reviews Classic Tuesdays. This Classic Tuesday review is on an old 007 movie, Live and Let Die. And just a little special information. This movie is sold that it was like a 1973, and also it's the 8th 007 movie made. And boy, did it turn out to be a memorable one. Such a point to that fact is that the Wings song, Live and Let Die, which was made for this movie, became so popular that artists such as Guns N' Roses and others made remakes of it. Alright, let's take a look at... I can't remember exactly what actor plays Bond, but anyways, let's take a look at this villain corporation in the movie. The corporation is headed by Mr. Big, who in the movie was like a major drug seller or something. He has his own branches off from him, that people that work under him, and people that have their own groups all working for him. Such as this witch doctor right here. And also I wasn't able to find a good picture of it, but guy owns an alligator farm whose workers and the guy himself are under the authority of Mr. Big. And the alligator farm is actually used to cut out people that Mr. Big doesn't want to have living anymore. The witch doctor is used to perform rituals and stuff for Mr. Big, such as taking out gypsy girls who become unclean to him. But that's for a later time. Back to the alligator farms. Bond was one of the people who were subjugated to being eaten by alligators, but managed to escape, leading to a very memorable chase, such as we have the boat chase from Live and Let Die, which leads up to the very memorable jump over the barge with a couple car, which it was so memorable that TV show hosts Adam Savage and Jamie Hyneman, sorry that I can't get his last name pronounced right, but anyways, from Mythbusters decided to test this one out themselves. When the scene happened, it was scaring the heck out of this comic relief character. I forget who plays this character, or the character's name, but this sheriff was placed into the movie just for some comic relief. He's a redneck at talk and a good old overconfident sheriff altogether. Thinks he's so big and bad and all that stuff that a speeder cannot get by without a thing about, you think you can outrun Sheriff such and such type of conversation. He also believes so much in his family. That's where some of his own confidence comes in, because he expected that since it was a boat chase, he thought that the criminals would be brought in by his brother who owned the fastest boat in the swamp. Though his brother was actually, roped up and stuff by the guys who were working for Mr. Big and chasing 007 in the boat chase scenes. So much for that. Yeah, Sheriff. Speaking about the gypsy, the gypsy turns out to be this movie's 007 girl who fell for Bond, like they all do, goes to sleep with him, and when the bad guy, in this movie's case, Mr. Big, finds out, they try killing her. And that's turns out to be the fate that Mr. Big hoped for her, but it would have been too if 007 had not intervened during the ritual and stopped the witch doctor from carrying out the killing ritual. They happen to escape to this underground lair, which you get to through a platform in a coffin, I think it was, where they happen to get trapped again and lowered into a water with man-eating sharks. Not very safe. Not very, very good situation. After one last fight, they manage to escape onto either a train or a plane, and one or the other, and get into another fight with Mr. Big's henchman, who just won't simply give up. But James Bond, being as awesome as he is, manages to win through all these fights, and due to all these fights, it's worth being a very memorable 007 movie. And even though the visual effects weren't the greatest, though I grant that it was a 1973 movie, I'll give them that. That they probably used the best visual effects that they can for during the time. So on a rating scale of 1 star being poor and 5 stars being excellent, I would have to rate this movie solid 5 stars. That's all the time we have for today, moviegoers. We'll be back tomorrow for Tele News Wednesdays, in which, if you haven't seen the special update video, then know this, that we're going to be taking a look at the Hobbit sneak peek that was questions that were courtesy of Mr. Peter Jackson, which happened on Sunday. So until then, have a great rest of the afternoon, and we'll catch you later, moviegoers. Bye.